So Michael Bisping has a fight years ago with Vitor Belfort. So somewhere in that fight, Vitor Bisping hurts his eye. I think he gets punched right in the eye. It's a very long time ago. And he had eye problems ever since, right? This is not a secret. You guys saw him. Then all of a sudden, Bisping's eye looks great. Like, do you guys remember when Bisping had a coloration in his eye? He would go on TV, and then all of a sudden he didn't have it, and his eye just looked fantastic. Like, oh wow, his eye's healed. So he comes after that. He never really complains about it. I mean, it bothered, but he pushes through. I remember he fought Anderson Silva after this. I remember he fought, from the George St. Pierre fight, the world title fight with Luke Rockhold, Kelvin Gastelum. This is just off the top of my head. He could have had more fights than that. Tim Kennedy fight might have fallen somewhere post Vitor. The point is, so Bisping retires and he starts a podcast, one of the many things he's doing. But recently he goes on his podcast and he removes his eye. So when that discoloration, all of a sudden, oh, Bisping's eye looks great. I guess it's healed. No, he went and got a glass eye. He was doing fights with a glass eye. He was fighting and won a world championship with one eye. Being able to see with one eye. I mean, most guys go into a fight. You guys will be able to relate to this. How many fights have you seen? Boxing, MMA, where a guy gets his eye closed and then never goes on to win the fight? How? Seeing where your opponent is a very big deal, particularly peripheral vision. When a guy gets his eyes shut, it's very rare that he ever comes back and does well. Go look at Tyson Fury's last fight. One of the reasons so many of us respected what Tyson Fury did wasn't just the push and pull struggle of that fight. It had to do with he couldn't see out of one eye. It's just a really hard thing to... Michael Bisping won a world championship. Oh, and by the way, didn't even tell anybody. I thought it was just very interesting. I thought he deserved some credit for that. Now, there will be another side that, oh, he shouldn't have done that, and he should have disclosed this to commissions. I'm looking at it from the more barbaric standpoint, okay? I will admit to that. What a tough guy. Michael Bisping is a legitimate badass. And this sport has fewer and fewer of them. It's got some very good athletes, and the skills have greatly improved over time. And better athletes that aren't going into the footballs and the basketballs and the baseballs of the world and coming into MMA. Sport's at a real high point in that regard. But as far as the mentality of a true tough guys, Michael Bisping fits that bill. He is a true tough guy, in and out of the cage. Just one of those things. And I don't think you would possibly need further evidence than this. And I should also tell you, I've talked to Bisping a number of times. And I make the same joke to him almost every single time that I see him. Bisping, you're the only fighter to ever retire from this sport who has not gained a pound. He gets up in the morning, he goes to the gym. When he has free times, he goes in and hits mitts. He stays in shape. I don't think you're retired. I think you've retired so that you can then come back, right? You can't have the comeback fight unless you retire first. And he's like, nope, you're actually wrong on this. I am done. He says that every time. But he says it in a way that's very real. It's very sincere, which is why I always go back with the same, every time I see him, same line over and over. But I do that to try to gauge his body language because he's absolutely convinced me when we're face to face, he's done. Well, okay. Now, yes, he's done, but he didn't reveal that. So he didn't reveal to me he was sitting on a secret, that he had a glass eye. So I thought it was very compelling the way he did this, the way he removed it. It was very interesting. But it was also, at least from where I'm sitting, it was very respectful and very honorable that he dug deep, got a glass eye, also that he could go into the middle of a cage fight and pursue a dream.